Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Smith. I am chairman of British African Business Alliance, and I represent a company that is working with Africans in diaspora to deliver a program of activity that accelerates economic development in Africa. I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you today. And I am looking forward to sharing with you the work that we're doing and that our members are doing to stimulate business growth in Nigeria. In the UK, we have something over 6 million Africans and more people of African descent. We have identified over 500,000 business professionals working between the UK and Africa. And we are intent on mobilizing their skills, their expertise, their technology to bring benefit to the African countries which the diaspora represent. I've got a short presentation here called Mountain Climbing in Nigeria, and I will try and wrap this up in 10 to 15 minutes. But I think we could easily spend a couple of hours exploring the different business opportunities that our members are bringing forward. Let's go ahead and start talking about what we do. The economic mountains of Nigeria are a challenge. And if we take GDP per head and use the World Bank as the source of our data, we can see where Nigeria ended up at the end of 2024. Just $806 per person generated through the economic activity that was reported to the World Bank. It shows a challenge in terms of more SME businesses, the requirement for investment, the requirement for leapfrog technology, for communication, for collaboration, and wealth strategies. Wealth development strategies come in three forms: home ownership, business ownership, and the ability to invest in the activities of others. When you compare Nigeria's performance against sub-Saharan Africa, and I appreciate how difficult your economy has been, you see that Nigeria is 47% lower than sub-Saharan Africa as an average. When you compare it with the world average, Nigeria is sitting at just 6%. And I don't know how you would consider a 16 times growth in salary, but that is what you and your country need to generate to sit at world average. For those of us in the UK, we are generating $52,600 per person, whether we're bus drivers or whether we're nuclear scientists. I think that when you look at a country like Nigeria, it's not just the rich getting richer, but it is the requirement for building self-sufficiency as a country so that everyone in the community benefits. That means we need more local content. We need to create import substitution. We need more Nigerian-owned SMEs. We need to activate the mentoring and the consultancy services that help people to take the steps towards working in, setting up, and running their own businesses. We need the application of technology so that we're taking advantage of all the benefits that the world has created in so many different fields. Probably the most important deliverable is business partnerships and the local wealth development strategies. So from 806 to 1500, from 1,500 to 13,600. These are the mountains that Nigeria needs to climb. Altogether, we need to generate an extra $3 trillion in Nigeria. What a target that is. 16 times growth. So let's put our heads together and see how we can move things forward. British African Business Alliance is a network in the UK. Our focus is on business. What we're looking at is where people live. And this picture shows you the Facebook impression of where they have connections. So you can see the population centers. One of the things that concerns me is that population is going to double over the next 25 years. That means more schools, more hospitals, more roads, more houses, more communities that are vibrantly operating, economically producing goods and services that solve the problems that all of you face in your life today. Our focus is on African-owned businesses. We want to stimulate major projects, and we want to engage with what we call Africa-friendly investors. One of our tasks is managing the investor zone, and we've divided it into two sides. So on one side, you have your entrepreneurs, on the others, you have the investors. Amongst the entrepreneurs, you have ideas on the left there. They need to become business plans. Once they're qualified, they can go into an investment pipeline. My colleagues in Pan-African Finance and Investment Limited are creating a database of investors, whether they're in diaspora, whether they're high net worth individuals, whether they're brokers, bankers, or boutiques, whether they're funds or bonds. And our purpose is to take people through stages 1, 2, and 3 to get their business ready for investment. At the same time, by working with investors, we can choose the right scale of investment, we can choose the right focus of investment, the right specialism of investment. Investors invest in what they know. To impress an investor, you need to know their market as well as they do. They're not just going to turn up with a check. So there is a huge amount of work to be done to make these two parties mix. So we're looking for valid, viable, and qualified projects. We work through a membership system, so we know who we're working with. They recognize what we're trying to do, we recognize what they're trying to do, and we work together. We have projects covering all of these different groups, and our members are members of all these different groups. We're looking at agriculture into Zimbabwe. We're planting trees in Tanzania. And those trees are generating carbon credits that contribute to the development of the education system. We're building low-cost homes in Sierra Leone. We have plans for a significant railway in Nigeria. And we're working on a water transport system in Gabon. We work on a Pan-African basis. The railway in Nigeria links 10 states, 17 cities, 3 ports, and Abuja. It is a tremendous undertaking. We see that extending into other areas, and the plan that we presented to the Ministry of Transport gives us 2 routes to the north, and it links effectively 18 states to 5 ports. Now, it's not only doing that, it's also opening up the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement area. So I wouldn't call this a Nigerian railway. I'd call it an CFTA railway. That's what it really is. speeding goods into and out of Niger, into and out of Chad, using Nigeria as the pipeline and funding and placing all those goods through the ports in Nigeria. Alongside that, we're developing vocational colleges. We're looking to fund these through low-cost housing, through agriculture, and through community development. We intend to train 3,500 students and build 1,000 low-cost homes. This machine is actually at the heart of the building. With this, you can build bungalows, you can build two-story houses, you can build four-story apartment blocks. You can be a roofing contractor, you can do paved driveways, you can build cisterns for grain or for water. Solar Pack delivers what you need for power, it delivers drinking water, and it delivers an internet connection. If you want to go into the detail, you need to talk to Mike Eyre, one of our members. This machine comes from South Africa. It's a freezer. It will freeze 1/2 a ton of ice per day. Imagine selling 500 kilos at $1 a kilo, $half a kilo. You're making money every day with this machine. This machine makes detergent, shampoo, body wash, house cleaner, car cleaner, clothes cleaner, whatever you want, 2,000 liters a day, making things that people need to buy. Many of you are involved in agriculture. EcoFruit is a biostimulant used on rice and on tomatoes and a whole stack of other crops. It stimulates additional yield. In Zimbabwe, $185 of EcoFruit turned into $6,800 of extra tomatoes from 1 hectare of land. That is an improvement in yield. The waste that you see by the side of the road can be converted into energy. This machine takes 35 tons of rubbish every day and creates 1 megawatt of electricity. These are the sorts of businesses Nigeria needs to be developing across the country. What about the mangoes that fall on the floor? What about those extra tomatoes? Here is a mobile juice pressing unit. You could use it to create, pasteurize, and can juice. It comes from Swindon in Wiltshire. What about chicken? Wouldn't it be better to have better quality, higher quality chicken? What about the jobs that chicken can create? This model comes from Botswana. It trains farmers to grow chickens. It protects the chickens using the best of veterinary practice. And then there is a processing unit and a distribution truck. That feeds the butchers, the supermarkets, the restaurants, the hotels, all delivering profit for farmers in the local community. And then there are a myriad of other machines that support the development of businesses. And in all of this, we're talking about housing. We're talking about young people. So as soon as you become a student at a Baba Vocational College, you are into a system that is taking you towards a job. It's taking you towards owning and running a business. It's taking you towards a future where you have more control and you have the opportunity to develop a business around some of the issues and the needs of your community. One of the things that we're working on is this machine. It's a 20-foot container. It will produce a megawatt of electricity. It has no fuel, no diesel, no gas, no water, no wind, no solar panels, no batteries. Just a computer sitting in the corner of your factory producing the megawatt of electricity that you need to drive your business. We're introducing this into Nigeria at the moment, and we're interested in talking to people to determine how they would um, support our new product development program. So to conclude, we bring collaborative advantage. I hope that you will reach out to us through our members, through the organizations that we work with to stimulate economic growth in your particular area of Nigeria. Thank you for listening to us today and listening to me today, and I look forward to meeting you soon.